Now, typically in the Inner Gamer podcast, we talk about things like, the Xbox and the PlayStation and PC gaming and stuff like that. Today, we're taking a little bit of a different approach.
Detour.
And we're going to talk about gaming on a Mac. What?
I have experience with this.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you do?
I do.
What's your experience?
I used to have a Mac, and I'd play WoW and a few other games on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember when you built that that Mac computer that was like
Hackintosh.
do your own Hackintosh? Yeah.
And I was going to do a Hackintosh, and you looked into it, and it took like hours, and nothing happened.
It's a pain in the butt to do, yeah.
So we're just like, fuck it, I have Windows now.
Yep, just give up.
and that was
build
my
Windows.
downfall.
Yep, it was wild. So this is a conversation that was submitted by our Patreon supporter, Jason. And he was like, you guys should talk about gaming on a Mac because...
Jason Hobbs? No, I'm kidding.
Not Jason Hobbs. No, he's not here. He doesn't matter. Yeah,
That's
he's fine. He's out the door. I'm just kidding. Jason's working today. So yeah, our co-host Jason is working today. But no, Jason from our Patreon submitted this question and was basically like, y'all should talk about that Windows gaming on a Mac that they talked about back in WWDC. And I figured, you know what? It's about time to do that. We've had a lot of gaming talk to talk about, so I've had to like push this conversation back a little bit. But by the time you listen to this podcast, Apple will have unveiled the new iPhone, codename iPhone 15. Not really a codename, it's just iPhone 15 clearly.
I like how it's a code name.
Yeah.
That's literally the name.
They're going to be announcing the iPhone 15. There's rumors that they're going to bring out the Apple Watch Series 9 and potentially some new AirPods. So they'll have some new, obviously a piece of the iPhone is always going to talk about video games, but we're also going to talk here a little bit about just gaming in general on a Mac, because there was a point in time where there was some kind of hope and dreams that like Mac could open up and support it, because they built a lot of pieces that could enable gaming to exist. Like, they started having more games that just had Mac support. Like I remember games from Maxis, like The Sims and Spore and all those games back in the day always ran on a Mac, like really well. And then even Fortnite can run on a Mac pretty well. But you don't think of Mac and gaming. Mobile phone, yes. Like they've dominated gaming on the mobile phone. iPad too, but then they even brought out Apple Arcade, and they're like, oh, you can get on the Apple TV, and I was like, oh, maybe that's another console system. Never really came to that kind of idea.
You can actually play some good games here. Fortnite, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Stardew Valley, Disco Elysium, Hades, City Skylines, Cuphead, Diablo 3, Rust, Divinity, Original Sin 2. Heck yeah, look at that. Counter-Strike. Yeah, some good stuff here. Like, pretty decent stuff. Dota.
But
Thanks,
have any of those games come out in the last 5 years?
Absolutely not.
Except for Marvel Snap.
Metro Exodus you can play on here.
Yeah, but even that one's old.
2019, man.
It's 4 years old.
Fortnite came out in 2017.
That's 6 years old.
Okay.
Can you believe Fortnite's 6 years old? Holy crap.
I know.
Disco Elysium is fairly new, but it's been a while since there's been like a game that's like, holy shit, like you can play Cyberpunk on a Mac until now.
Yeah.
Because there's this new technology that Apple has announced called a Game Porting Toolkit. This was announced at WWDC back in June, and it makes it easier and quicker to port Windows games to Mac. So it sounds like they're trying to invest money into making this stuff happen, because just like we were talking about earlier in our other conversation about Switch and how it's harder to do that because you have to build it specifically for the Switch and go through like the Switch like approval process and stuff like that. Mac games are hard too. But this Game Porting Toolkit uses technology similar to Valve's Proton and is powered by Crossover's source code, a wine-based solution for running Windows games on Mac OS. It instantly translates and runs Windows games on Mac OS, allowing developers to evaluate game performance before fully porting. It supports DirectX 12 games and translates Windows APIs to Apple's Metal API automatically for graphics and other functionalities. While not optimized, some Windows games like Cyberpunk, Diablo 4, Hogwarts Legacy, and more were shown to run on M1 and M2 MacBooks with promising results.
Man, MacBooks.
Yes, sir.
Dude, that is real good.
Yeah.
So this is big, and I think this is really good, assuming it all pans out and works out the way it's supposed to, because I feel like I mean, who's more casual than someone who has a MacBook?
Yeah.
With like gaming and stuff. Like I feel like you have all this processing power that's not being utilized or could be utilized outside of, whatever you're doing, because some people use this to create music or, supplement apps and stuff to help with music creation and editing and working on, like Adobe After Effects, stuff like that. Like, why not be able to just like pop open your Mac or turn on your Mac and be like, hey, I'm done for the day. I'm going to play some games now. Like, I feel like that's great.
It is nice not having to like switch to a different device. I mean, a lot of people that probably own MacBooks probably have a console system or something like that.
I would assume so, yes.
But I mean, the fact that you could potentially enable your already existing MacBook devices that you have, whether it be a Mac Pro, a MacBook Pro, or whatever it might be, and add the ability to actually turn it into a PC, without having to buy a separate PC rig and learn how to like build PCs and all that. Like, I know a lot of people love Macs because you turn them on, they just work, right?
That's why I got a Mac to begin with. Well,
yeah.
One was for editing, and two, it just like had all this computing power. I don't want to spend extra money to get a PC to build it and put it together. Like that scared me back in the day.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like why not?
And it's like I work exclusively on a MacBook Pro with the M1 chip, so it's like the first generation M1, and man, that thing screams. Like, it's so good. Like, I never thought to like going from
screams like it's trying to cool down.
No, it does not at all.
Oh,
that's what's so cool about it.
It doesn't scream.
Yeah, it screams as in it's like just, I don't know, it's good. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, just really good. Yeah. No, but I used to have I have my personal laptop is an Intel, and it screams bloody murder because, I turn it on. It's just like like if I'm running, like if I open Premiere, it just like sounds like a jet engine just turned on. And just the fans are running like crazy. I open the same program, do the same thing in M1, never makes a peep.
Yeah.
Silent.
Yeah.
And it runs flawlessly.
Yeah.
So good, so fast. And it just, battery life is good too. I don't know if the M1 chip had any difference in the battery life, but it seems like it did. They did make it a little bit thicker of a device too. But like, I mean, I can run that thing unplugged, sit at a coffee shop for 6.5 hours, never lose any battery, which is pretty damn good if I'm sitting there like in Zoom calls and like, working in Photoshop or XD or whatever. Like, I'm jumping around. I'm like, I'm not watching video, but like, it's not light work that I'm doing. So
right.
It's impressive. So the fact that I could jump a game and turn that on, like that's pretty exciting.
Right. Like, I'm sure some people have 2 computers, 2 laptops and stuff. And, if Mac was able to play these PC games, which it can't, then, I mean, I probably wouldn't have a PC right now.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy the Mac. I mean, it's just so simple. I mean, like we said, it's put together. They have a lot of good stuff in there. I think there's a lot of ports that can be desired because they don't usually come with a lot of ports. You kind of have to figure it out. Get multi port hubs or whatever and stuff. But yeah, I think it's, I mean, hopefully this works out because the Mac has plenty of power to spread around.
So here's a example of some of the tests that they did on a MacBook Pro with M1 Pro. So the basic M1 chip. They ran Rise of the Tomb Raider, lowest settings, 1080p, 108 frames per second.
Nice.
Highest preset, but still 1080p was 72 frames per second.
Not bad.
Yeah. So it's still 1080, but like that's not terrible.
No.
Hitman, the first Hitman, so it's an older game, 1080p, highest preset 110. Shadow of the Tomb Raider was at the highest, running 43, so it was a little bit lower, but so it's not like a powerhouse. Like, you're not pulling like 100, 200, frames per second, like maxed out or whatever, but you're getting very comfortable gaming, as long as they can support it,
Here's Cyberpunk on a MacBook. It is going 12, 13 frames a second, but I mean, you could play it. This is not ideal at all. But,
well, I wouldn't play it, but yeah.
But the fact that it's running is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Say, it's on Ultra, that's why. If we just turn down all the settings, you'd probably
if it wasn't maxed out, you probably have a little bit better.
30. Probably get 30. But man, that is crazy. That's great, man. That is just fantastic.
So hopefully, we see some updates coming down the pipeline. I know they mentioned that they announced Death Stranding Director's Cut coming to Mac OS. So nice. And there's a new game mode that's going to be in Mac, or there is a new game mode in Mac OS Sonoma. I don't know what that means, but maybe it's just going to like help kind of turn on different systems in the hardware to make it run better. But
okay.
I like the fact that they're like providing tools that'll hopefully enable some gaming stuff to happen, even if it's not everything. Like it would be nice to start seeing some more games pop in here, kind of like the Steam Deck has the Linux migration thing where you can turn Windows games into Linux support for this device.
That's awesome.
Have the same thing on a Mac so you can get some people playing. Like, I mean, I think like Baldur's Gate 3 is like a perfect example of a game that should be running on a Mac. Like that you can sit there, like people that like have a Mac like would probably like, that's a perfect game to play on a Mac. It's just point and click, you don't have to have a fancy controller or anything like that.
Right. Because imagine the people who have a MacBook for work or just a Mac computer for work, and then they have like a really shitty PC just so they can play games with their friends. They don't have the money to upgrade. They're probably still playing on like an old graphics card because that's all they got. They had spent all their money. They spent all their money on this MacBook.
Well, my former coworker Nick, like he was trying to play games on his Mac, and that's what he did for a while. He had an old iMac that he was like running some games on, but it's limited. So now he's like having to invest in a PC. If he wants to play a PC base, because he's not going to buy an Xbox.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to buy an Xbox, so he's like, well, I'm going to get a PC so I can play Game Pass stuff.
Yeah.
And get the best of that world. But then you got to drop a couple $1,000s to do that. You already dropped a couple $1,000s for Mac, so
I mean, you could get the Asus ROG Ally, which is like a Steam Deck competitor. It'll play most of those games, most likely.
Yeah.
So then I'm sure you could connect to a screen, and I'm sure it upreses, but it at least plays 1080.
Yeah.
120 hertz.
It's pretty good
screen. So I'm sure you can get something out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you connect controller. You can connect whatever you want to that. I mean, it's like a mini PC. Anyway, but it'd be great to play it on Mac.
Yeah. This is completely unrelated to gaming on a Mac, but I'm very excited because this new iPhone is rumored, and I hope by the time you listen to this, that this is true. They are saying that they are going to be ditching the Lightning connector and finally going all in on USB-C.
Thank you.
So you can charge with USB-C.
Man, that's what we need.
The same charger I use for my iPhone, I can use on my Switch, and I can use on my Steam Deck.
Nice.
And I can use on my MacBook Pro, damn it.
You know how many lightning cords are lying around right now in the world?
I know. I can throw all that shit away. I hope. Please let that work.
You think it's going to be a lightning fast?
I get it. Dad jokes. Silly jokes. Yeah.
No, serious. Is it going to be faster than the lightning cable?
Oh, I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's just going to be consistent. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've never noticed them charge any differently, really. Because I mean, my MacBook that I bought, like it runs USB-C to charge my MacBook Pro, my old MacBook Pro. But I can also charge my new MacBook Pro, even though it went back to the magnetize connector. I can still charge it with USB-C.
Gotcha.
So I have one USB-C cable in my backpack that I use to charge my Switch, that I use to charge my MacBooks, all the things.
Cool.
Yeah. So fingers crossed, it's good. And then gaming on a Mac, exciting stuff. I hope that this continues to enhance and we start seeing more games drop on a Mac.
The future's here, people. Future's here.
Yeah. I think honestly, like I think one of these companies, Xbox honestly, I wonder if you can install, no, they don't have it. Like Xbox needs to design an Xbox Mac app that you can just like, if it doesn't run on, because like I like on Steam Deck when you're like running through the library, it tells you the compatibility standards of the games you're about to play. So it's like, this has been tested to run on a Steam Deck and it works great. This is partially compatible, or this is not compatible at all. Having something in the Xbox app that's just I mean, really on any device, they could add that to UI and have it work everywhere. We pull up the Xbox app and it tells you based on your system specs what the compatibility qualities would be for that thing. So I could pull up the Xbox app. Yeah, I could pull up the Xbox app on my Mac and it can say like Cyberpunk, you cannot play this on your device. Or I pull up, I don't know, Baldur's Gate, like I said, if that was on Game Pass, and you can play this on your Mac, 100% guaranteed, tested, approved,
yeah,
done.
Yeah,
that'd be huge. And if it doesn't play, then if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it just streams it to your Mac.
Well, they should. I'm surprised Xbox hasn't created this where it's like, hey, get the app on. I mean, can you play Game Pass on Mac?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, if they had it where this technology was able to play your games on the Mac, like if they could just bypass Apple having to do it, which is great, but like I'm surprised, like they would capture the market.
Yeah, somebody needs to do it. I mean, bring an app. I mean, Steam is on Mac, but
it's very limited,
and it does actually have the same system. It doesn't tell you the compatibility level, but it does let you filter by Mac. So you can see what's there, which is great. You know, so they've done the due diligence there. But I mean, Xbox would kill it if they were just like, okay, if it doesn't work, then just load this game, cloud gaming.
Yeah.
And then you just stream it.
Yeah.
Like that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Come on, Xbox, listen to us. Phil Spencer.
Announcing tomorrow after this podcast release.
Yeah.
You heard it here
that
first.
would exactly be what's happening.
I know, right?
Oh, man. So, yeah, let us know what you think about gaming on a Mac. Would you play games on a Mac? If so, what would be your favorite game to play on a Mac? Love to hear your comments.